All right. Hello, everyone. We are super excited to be here for April. We're doing plant cells recycling and a mystery current event with your hosts as usual. Um, me, it's not working. Ah, it says it is. I can see it. Oh, can you see it, Randy?
Yes, it's good. It just was on
Okay.
a delay, so I doubted
Okay.
it.
All right.
We're good.
All right. We're good. Sorry. Like we said, we've had a bunch of changes to our streaming this year, and I think we finally settled on a solution. It just relies on me making sure it goes to the right place. But we should be all at the right place now. I see we have some people joining us in here. Hello, Ashley and Jennifer, and anyone else who's here. Let us know. And Randy, do you wanna? I'm gonna
Yeah,
turn it over
I
to
say
you
we
for a
get.
little bit because you go first, right? We should get started.
Yes, let's get started. All right, so today we're doing plant cells, which is perfect for spring. We're doing recycling, which is perfect for Earth Day. And then I have a mystery current event for you. So we got lots of good stuff. So I am going to get rolling here. All right, we have our first plant cell question. So, what is a cell? Regardless of it being a plant cell, what is a cell? Is it a special compartment in the roots of a plant where water soaked up? Is it the basic unit of life in all organisms? Is it a protective outer covering on the leaves of a plant? Or is it a place you put your plants when they're not growing well? So go ahead and put your answer right in the chat, A, B, C, or D.
I know this one, so I'm definitely not answering.
All right.
So I enjoy the extra answers you put on there.
Um, do you know, while we're waiting for people to answer, do you know how to comment in the chat here? I was
Yes.
commenting over from YouTube. How do I talk right in the chat here?
Hit the chat bubble on the side. Do you see it?
I see the chat. I see people's, comments.
Yeah.
I don't
Does
know.
it let's say type a message at the bottom? Mine says type a message at the bottom.
It doesn't.
Huh.
Must be how I'm in here. All right. So we have Genevieve, not Jennifer. So sorry. That's okay. I'm going to try to remember that. All right. We got our answers coming in. Ashley says a special, well, not Ashley, but her 10-year-old says a special compartment in the roots. Let's see what Genevieve and Ashley's 8-year-old. Do I have the age right? I don't remember for sure. Genevieve says B, the basic unit of life in all organisms. Let's see if we get another answer. And we have another B. All right. I'm not sure anybody else is here. So we're just going to go ahead and do the reveal. And if you said B, you are correct. It's the basic unit of life in all organisms. You can see there a plant cell. We're going to go into the parts of a plant cell more, but here's just a quick look at it. All right. So the cell parts in any cell are called organelles. So which of the following cell parts or organelles are only found in plants? So 3 of these can be in plants or animals or humans, and only 1 is only in plants. So is it the nucleus is only in plants? The cell membrane is only in plants? The cytoplasm is only in plants, or the chloroplast is only in plants? Which one is only in plant cells?
Oh, I know this one too.
Well, good. I would hope so.
I do
All right.
remember my basic biology. And actually, we were just talking about cells not too long ago in our learning. Not like a super deep dive on cells, just like a casual, here's the difference between plant cells, animal cells, and
Right.
what was the third kind of cell we looked at? Was it fungi cells? It might have been fungi cells.
Oh, see,
Because
I've never even
fungi
looked
are
at
not
those.
plants.
That's true. That's interesting. I have not thought about that. All right, your boys have chimed in here. And then we also have Kimberly, who had messaged me on Facebook for the link. So I'm glad you were able to jump in here, even though I got back to you really late. All right, we have some answers. We have chloroplasts. We've got a guess for cell membrane. And yeah, that's what we got. Couple cell membranes, lots of chloroplasts. All right, your answer is chloroplasts. Ooh, and my arrow kind of got moved over. Sorry about that. The chloroplast is that green wormy kind of looking thing. The arrow kind of is pointing past it, but the green wormy thing is a chloroplast. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. But let's point out the other cell parts. The nucleus is the brain of the cell. Animals, humans, and plant cells all have nuclei. The cell membrane on a plant cell is kind of that inside of the cell wall. And again, all types of cells have cell membranes. And then the cytoplasm is like the jelly that the organelles are all floating in. Okay, not going to say anything else at the moment.
I know I'm
So
like resisting saying things in case I say too much.
Yes, don't say too much. All right, so we got our chloroplast that we know is only in plant cells. So which of the following processes happens inside the chloroplast? Does blood circulate in there? Does breathing happen in there? Does photosynthesis happen in there? Or does toxin secretion? Toxins are like poisons. So do they come out in the chloroplast? So what do we think happens in the chloroplast? And then we'll talk about the answer a little bit. So if you're like, I have no idea, don't worry.
Do you want to know a fun fact, Randy?
Sure.
They Might Be Giants has a song about this on their kids album.
Who does?
They Might Be Giants.
I don't know them.
Yeah, they're a band. They do stuff for grown-ups too, but they have a couple of kids albums, and they have a song about this on their, I think it's on, I can't remember the name of the album, but they have like some number songs and some science songs, and this is on the science songs one. There's a song about it.
Fun. Do you know if it's on YouTube? Because sometimes there's songs on
Probably.
YouTube that I put in my mini unit studies.
It's probably on YouTube. It's on Spotify for sure, but it's
In
probably
fact,
on YouTube too.
In a few minutes, I'll put our plant cell mini unit study in the chat, the link, because there is a song about cell parts in it.
Ooh, very
All right.
fun.
Let's see. So we got, oh my gosh, we have unanimous guesses here. Everybody says C because everybody is so smart. It is C. Ashley wants to know the name of, can you say the name of that group again?
It's called They Might Be Giants, and I believe the song name is Photosynthesis, which is why I didn't say it while I was talking.
Right. Okay.
Not give it away.
Right, gotcha. Okay. So, in case you're not sure what photosynthesis is, it's how a plant uses the sun to make its own food. So, plants have this fancy vocabulary name called autotrophs. So, that means they make their own food. They don't have to go looking for food, they make it for themselves. And we have a whole mini unit study on photosynthesis as well, if you want to learn more. All right. Now, which cell part makes trees and other plants stand up tall? Okay, we know humans are able to stand up tall because we have a skeleton. So how do plants stand up tall? Is it because the cells have cell walls? Is it because they have bone molecules? Is it because of their mitochondria? Or do they have calcium in them? What cell part makes trees and plants stand up tall?
I did look, and the song is on YouTube.
All right,
if anyone
awesome.
wants to look for it later.
Well, that's too bad I didn't have it in my photosynthesis mini unit study.
They have a
I'd
lot of
said
fun
update it,
ones they
but
really enjoyed.
that's a lot of steps. A lot of steps to update those once they're up on the
Yes.
website. Ashley found a broken link on my website. And then she was so kind that she found the correct link for me. I think maybe not. Maybe I found the correct link and sent it to her. But it took me a whole week then to fix it on the website. That's just a whole nother
It takes a
level of
surprisingly
steps.
long time to fix something. It's a lot of layers to fixing
It is a lot of
something,
layers. Yes. But I did
especially in like
appreciate her
a
finding it.
yes, especially in like a unit study because you have to like change it in the PDF, and then it's not like it changes it in the PDFs
Right.
everywhere. You have to like replace all the PDFs.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
so we
All right.
have
Let's see.
A's and 1B and 1D.
All right.
Oh, 2B's now.
All right. So A's, B's, and D's. So nobody thinks it's the mighty mitochondria.
The powerhouse of the cell.
All right. It is the cell wall. So if you've ever seen like a drawing or on a microscope, an animal cell, it's kind of like this blobby looking thing, right? Plant cells are like boxes. They have a firm cell wall around them. And that is actually when a tree grows and you have that hard outer bark, it's because of cell walls that you have that. If we didn't have bones in our body, we would just be a blob on the ground, right? It's our bones that give us our shape. And so the cell walls give plants their shape. All right, last plant cell question. Now, this is a good one to think about because you can think about this in real life and remind yourself. So what causes plants to droop when they need water? Do you ever forget to water plants and you see them and they're looking all sad? So what causes that? Do the cell walls get squishy? So we just said that's what helps give them structure. So maybe, what are you doing, Melissa?
Oh, sorry. I was getting ready for the next one. I was trying to get ready behind the scenes. I didn't realize it would kick you out.
Okay.
Sorry.
So do those cell walls we just talked about get squishy? Is it the vacuoles? Ooh, which I meant to show you. Hold on. This is a vacuole. It's part of the cell. Is it that they start to collapse because they're almost empty? Is it that photosynthesis has just stopped? It's not making food anymore. Or remember, the nucleus is the brain of the cell. Is it how the nucleus is telling people, like, please water me? So which of these is the reason that plants get droopy?
Sorry, Randy. I was trying to prepare
You're fine.
behind the scenes and I didn't realize it would start sharing it right away.
You're fine. You were just so excited to share about recycling.
I
Couldn't
know.
contain
Well, I just
yourself.
didn't want there to be a big awkward gap while I got it ready.
It's all right. We'll have
So I
an
just
awkward gap.
awkwardly interrupt you anyways.
All right, we got 2 B's and an A, but we're waiting for like 3 more people to chime in. What are y'all thinking? Guesses
It's
are
totally
welcome. You
okay
have
to
a
guessing.
25% chance of being right. So there you go. Out of 5 questions, you have a good chance of getting 1 or 2 correct. All right, we got a C, we got B's, we got A's. All right, so nobody thinks, did everybody answer? Genevieve has an answer. You gonna give us an answer before I spill the beans? All right, nobody's thinking that the nucleus is telling people to water the plant. All right.
There we go. We got a
We
B.
got it.
B
We
from
got
Genevieve.
everybody. All right, if you said B, you are correct. So that vacuole holds water and nutrients, and we call it sap. You might have heard of sap before. If you're thinking maple syrup comes out of the tree, it's the sap. So if you haven't watered it, those start to collapse, which means the whole cell is kind of collapsing. So think of that the next time you see a droopy plant, you can be like, oh, the vacuoles must be empty and are collapsing. You'll be a scientist about it. All right. Go ahead, Melissa, with your recycling, and then I will do our mystery current event afterwards. Your cover is so cute.
Aw, thanks. It's just a template.
I figured
All
out,
right.
but it's still cute.
I am really excited to talk about recycling today. Okay, so question 1. Which of these materials can be recycled infinitely? Is it A, aluminum, B, paper, C, plastic, or D, all of the above? And if you don't know what infinitely means, it means like forever. So some materials, you can only recycle them so many times before they're too broken down to make new things out of. But some materials you can recycle over and over and over again, and they never break down or degrade. So which one of these, aluminum, paper, plastic, or all of them, can be recycled forever without breaking down?
Dominic typed his name, but he didn't give us an answer.
He's
Just
probably
letting
hit
us know
enter
he's
too soon.
here. All right, there we go. Aluminum.
Do you
I have
know
a
this, Randy?
guess.
You have a guess?
I have a guess. All right. We have paper, we have plastic. All right. We got all the options here.
Just waiting for Kimberly's family.
Kimberly's and Genevieve's.
Oh, I see Genevieve in there. She said C.
Oh, okay. It hadn't shown up on mine yet. All right. We got
Then we have
everybody in.
D, all of the above. All right.
All right. We've got
So it is
everything.
A, aluminum.
Oh.
So if you think about it, aluminum is a metal, so it can be melted down again and again. But paper and plastic, they will both degrade over time. I think if I recall right, it is 7 times that paper can be recycled before it's too degraded too far. And plastic, usually when plastic is recycled, but not always, it degrades in quality like every time that it's recycled. So you can never make like the exact same kind of plastic out of it when you recycle it. It always is stepping down,
All right.
if I remember correctly. Question 2. Recycling steel saves energy. How much energy? Enough to run a 60-watt light bulb for A, 5 minutes, B, 6 hours, C, over a day, or D, over a week? Do you have a guess, Randy?
I could guess any of them. I don't know. I'll go with 6 hours. But
All right.
that means nothing. Don't assume I'm correct and guess the same thing. It means nothing.
Yeah. Because,
do we recycle steel? Like, we don't use really anything in our homes that we would
no,
recycle as steel, right? This is more
but
manufacturing level.
they're
Okay.
different. Just because you can't recycle something curbside doesn't mean that it cannot be recycled, period.
Right.
But
I was
sometimes
just
you do
trying.
have to take it to special places to recycle it.
Okay.
Like for example, you can recycle propane tanks, but you should not take propane tanks to your curbside recycling because most curbside recycling facilities are not set up to recycle propane tanks, and it can actually be very dangerous. It can cause explosions or fires.
I can see that. We just refill ours. We just return them and get new ones.
Yep.
All right. I
Right,
think
so
we've got our answers. Well, Genevieve, what do you got for us,
yeah.
Genevieve?
So far, we have all the answers except for C. So we just have 6 hours, over a week, 5
Okay.
minutes. Oh, and then Genevieve
There
said
you go.
C,
Genevieve did it for you.
which is actually the correct answer. So over
Ah,
a day's worth of energy is saved when
okay.
you recycle, because recycling is often a less energy intensive process than harvesting and creating new materials.
All right. Oh,
All right, question 3. How many trees does an average American use in paper products each year? Is it A, 3, B, 5, C, 7, or D, 9? And this includes like all paper things you can think of, like paper cups, paper plates, regular paper, toilet paper. Yep.
I've never thought
Cannot
of
recycle
you.
toilet paper.
in terms of trees. That's kind of like makes it more real, doesn't it?
Yes.
Hmm.
Cannot recycle toilet paper, but
No, no, but you can make toilet paper with I mean, it's
you
still made with
could.
paper. It's still trees you're using. But no,
Yes.
don't recycle toilet paper or tissues, paper towels, none of that. Don't need to recycle any of that. All right.
So we have C's, D's, B's. That's totally my older son who said that his optimistic
Okay.
heart wants to think that it's not 9.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's 3. All right, we got C's, D's, D's, B's. I'm going with A.
Can we go with
And I think
A?
we need Genevieve still. Your kid, oh, they did answer. Never mind.
Yes.
They had answered. All right. I'm going to hop in here, Genevieve. Going to go with me and guess A. For no idea if I'm right. She's going
Marie
with
says
C
D.
too.
All right, so it is
Ooh.
C7.
Oh,
So
that's a lot.
recycle your paper. Recycle your paper. So my
And
P's
that's
say
just one person,
recycle it.
you're saying.
Yes. So
So
do
our
the math.
family goes through
It's a
28
lot of
trees a year?
tree. Yes. So
All right.
there is
Wow.
one thing that most curbside recyclings do take. So recycle your paper. It's better than burning it because you can't get new things out of burning it.
Mm. Don't tell my husband
Question
that.
Question 4. If we use all the scrap iron and steel recycled every year in the US to build Golden Gate bridges, how many could we build? Is it A 300, B 500, C 700, or D 900? So this is all the metal that we currently recycle. That's iron and steel. So this is like a positive number to put in here
Right.
after the trees,
But not aluminum. Because
but
we
not
wouldn't build
aluminum.
because we wouldn't build bridges out of that, I'm assuming.
I think it would be too soft
Oh,
to build bridges out of.
thank you for writing question 4. I forgot that. Yes,
Okay.
I would think it'd be too soft as well. I don't think we'd want to drive over that bridge. I wonder if everybody has an idea of what the Golden Gate Bridge looks like.
Oh yeah, I should have put a picture over there on there. I didn't even think of it. Well, if
If
you
you
don't
don't
know,
know, it's a big bridge in San Francisco.
a very
I don't know
famous
how
one.
long it is. Hmm?
A very famous one.
Yes, a very famous one and a very big one. And it's got the big like arches. Not
Have you
all
ever
bridges
seen like an
have
orangish
those.
reddish bridge? That's
Hmm.
this bridge because it's a
Hmm.
unique color too. So we have C and B so far.
Because we have one of the longest bridges. Ooh, I think you're going there. It's in the New River Gorge.
Yes, we are going there.
And it doesn't have the metal over it. It's just like you're just driving on the road the whole time.
Yes.
So,
I forget what kind of bridge it is, but I
yeah,
know
there's a
it's
name
very
for it.
long and very high. And you can walk underneath it. And we looked into it, but it's very pricey to walk underneath it.
Oh, yes, you can. You're right. All right. We got B's, C, and D. Nobody wants to guess A. I'm guessing A again. Oh,
It is
that's
in the Full House
good.
opening. Yep.
Yes. That's a good link there. Good connection.
All right.
All right, we got
So
another B.
it is 900.
Wow.
So that's like a positive number to offset you from all the
Mm-hmm.
sadness of the trees, is that like we really do recycle a lot of this. So overall, the amount of things that we could recycle in the US versus the amount of things that are actually recycled is like we only recycle a small bit of what we could
Mm-hmm.
actually recycle. Which kind of leads me to this question. True or false? If you're not sure if something should be recycled, you should always recycle it anyways. Is that A, true, or B, false?
Hmm. I feel like I know what the people at the recycling center would tell you.
Yeah.
According to whom?
According to recycling center experts.
Okay. Oh, thank you for typing that in there. I forgot again.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right. So this is according to recycling centers, what they would tell you. Okay.
You
Now
think
here's a
that's true
question
or
for
false?
you, because you're in Wisconsin. Do you,
Yeah.
if you return like your cans and bottles to the store, do you get money?
We don't pay a deposit like in some
Okay.
states.
Yeah, we don't
Um,
either in North Carolina, but we always joke about taking them up to New York when we drive up to New York every summer, like just taking a whole bag, making
when I
some
was a
money.
kid, I do remember my parents, we would save all our aluminum cans and we would bring them to this place that had the machine and we would dump them in the machine and they would count them and we would get money. But I think that like
Hmm.
my parents just did that for the money because there's no deposit here. You can
Okay.
recycle them curbside. I don't know if places
Right.
like
That's
that
what we
still
do.
exist anymore
It
because we
does
just
in New
recycle
York.
them curbside.
Oh, in New
Yeah.
York, they still charge a deposit and you go and you take them to the grocery store and put them in the machine. And
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, this was a special, like, recycling place that they went
ah,
to, and
I
I
got
don't
you.
know if there are still those special I don't know if I should be saving my cans and making money off of them. It's not like a
Right.
deposit, but aluminum is so valuable, and like we said, it's
Mm.
infinitely recyclable. So that's why those
Mm.
places, even though there wasn't a deposit, they would pay you for it because
I
aluminum is so
gotcha.
valuable, it's infinitely recyclable, and the other thing that I learned when writing the recycling unit study is that it is so much more cost effective and energy effective to use recycled aluminum than to mine new aluminum. The process to mine new aluminum is pretty intensive. And so, if we can use recycled aluminum, which can always forever be recycled, it
Right.
is so much better than the new aluminum.
That makes sense. Yes, Ashley is from New York. She remembers doing that too. I used to work at a grocery store. So then the way it used to be is you get your little paper that said, you did $1.50, and then you give it to me at the cashier, and I'd take it off your groceries. So,
Yeah.
or give you money if you weren't buying anything. You didn't have to buy something. So, anyways, okay. That was a whole side note there.
Yes.
We've
So,
got,
this is false. This is false.
yes, that's what I
This is
thought.
actually something a lot of people will call this wish cycling, where people recycle things even if they're not sure if it should be recycled. But recycled facilities are set up to recycle specific things. So when you
Hmm.
recycle something that the recycling facility doesn't accept, it can damage the machines. It can put the workers in danger because, like, if something gets stuck in a machine because it's not built for the machine, they have to take it out. Actually, our recycling facility here a couple of years ago had a fire, probably from somebody recycling
Mm.
something that wasn't supposed to be recycled, and it's there's the damage was so extensive, they still have not been able to fix it yet. So, when in doubt, find out the rules for what you can
Mhm.
recycle it, but don't think, "Oh, this should be recyclable," and recycle it. That's my recycling PSA. Um, but there's a lot of information about recycling, a lot of really great videos inside my unit study that you can like see the different processes of how they recycle different things. You can watch the different steps of that, like how they recycle plastic and glass and everything like that. And it is free right now. If you go to the link that Randy has, you'll see another link there that says get this for free right now because um it's part of the Homeschool Buzz magazine this week, which is a free e-zine with a lot of cool things. So, if you go to the recycling page, you'll see a link there and click on that and get it free. I mean, you can pay if you want to pay, but I'll tell you this week there's a way to get it for free.
Ooh,
Oh, you're ringing, Randy.
I know it's my alarm. Why don't you put the link in the chat once I get going on my
All right. I'll set
thing?
you back up for the
Thank you.
future current event.
And speaking of fires at recycling centers, there was a big one in Paris this week at a recycling center. So if you look at pictures, it was like big smoke in Paris.
Yes.
All right, moving
Also,
on.
sorry, I just want to add a lot of places you can tour your recycling facility. So that's a really fun
Hmm.
homeschool field trip. We toured ours prior to the fire, and we learned a lot. So that's a really fun homeschool field trip.
All right, I would never thought of that. That's awesome. All right, so here's our mystery current event. So 2 people returned home last month after being stuck somewhere. And where were they stuck is our first question. So think if you've heard anything in the news. Do you think 2 people were stuck in a cave in Vietnam? Do you think they were on an island in the Pacific Ocean? Do you think they were on the International Space Station? Or do you think they were stuck at the North Pole? Where do you think 2 people recently returned from? All right. I marked our spot here.
Oh, good. I was about to do it, but you beat me there.
And just as an aside to this, did you know that the largest cave in the world is in Vietnam?
I didn't.
Yes, my youngest came downstairs on Sunday and he was, now I can't remember what it was called, but he's like, do you know about blah, blah, blah? I was like, no, what is that? He's like, it's the largest cave in the world. I want to watch a documentary with dinner tonight about it. So we had to find a documentary. So, anyways, the largest cave in
That's
the
a
world is
good
in Vietnam.
segue for next month.
Well, yes, and that's kind of, I've been wanting to do a cave mini unit study. So that kind of like prompted me a little bit more. All right, so Kimberly, they're going to know the answer. She says they're on top of this story. All right, so we've got on an island in the Pacific Ocean, an International Space Station is our top answers. Do you think your boys are still around or did they leave? Did they just come to
Uh,
your section?
I don't know. I know one of them left because I can hear.
Oh,
He told me he was going to take a shower, and I can hear it. So
all right. Okay, you are correct. If you said the International Space Station, you are correct. There's a picture of it out flying in the atmosphere. All right, so our next question is, so Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, right? Is that what that says? There's a thing in
yes.
front of it.
Hmm.
We're supposed to be on the International Space Station for 8 days. How long did they end up staying there? Was it 8 weeks, 4 months, 9 months, or 3 years? How long were they up there? And Kimberly, I try not to give too much away, but I was excited as well because I've been reading the Challenger book, which I've actually finished now. I was reading the Challenger book at the same time, which obviously does not end well. We all know the ending to that book. And so at the same time, this was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, please just let this all work out. So yes, I was very thankful when they touched down. All right. Ashley's 10-year-old thinks it was 9 months. Wow, it's a long time. See if she's right. All right. Dominic left. Okay. So, Alan, you're going to answer our questions, right?
Yep. He says
Oh, he
C.
did. It was up above.
Hmm.
Sorry. All right. So, we've got 9 months and we got one that says 3 years. And I'm waiting for Genevieve if she's going to jump in here. All right. And we got another 9 months. Okay. So you are correct if you said 9 months. That is how long they were up there. All right. So why were they up there for 9 months? So did their spaceship just kind of fall into space because it didn't dock correctly at the space station? So it like docked, but kind of like a boat would dock and then it would sink into the ocean or something. So it wasn't docked correctly. Were there technical problems with their spaceship and they had to wait for a new one to come get them? Did some of the astronauts that were already up there ask if they could go home instead? And so Suni and Butch were like, sure, we'll just stay for a while. Or did they get up there and they didn't want to leave? So they asked if they could stay for 9 months. So what do you think is the reason they stayed up there for 9 months?
I also know this one.
Yes, I figured.
I was like, oh, sometimes I want to guess, but I'm like, oh, I can't guess because I definitely
No,
don't know
don't
this.
guess.
That's the downside of being home. I mean, it is really fun to put the questions together, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, I want to just be answering the questions.
Well, some like yours, I had no idea the answers to most of your questions, though.
Yeah, sometimes we can guess, right? But sometimes when you're like, oh, I for sure know that, then I'm like, oh, I should for sure not guess. And I had to like really check myself and not say the chloroplast is photosynthesis because I was like, that might be a question. And then it was.
There you go. All right, so we've got A's, B's, and D's. All right, so there were technical problems. So there were thruster problems that kind of pushes the spaceship, and it was not helium links. That was supposed to say helium leaks. Sorry about that. So there were helium leaks from the spaceship. And I believe it was the first time that spaceship, I mean, it wasn't the first time a spaceship was ever flown, because I'm sure it was tested. It was the first time it carried astronauts anywhere. And then they were like, maybe it wasn't ready to do that. All right. So they're up there 9 months. There were other people there too. So how big do you think the International Space Station is? Do you think it's like the size of your living room, the whole station? That's where you are for 9 months? Do you think it's the size of a 2-bedroom house? Do you think it's the size of a 6-bedroom house? Just picture what that means to you. Or do you think it's the size of an Amazon warehouse? I don't know if you've ever driven by an Amazon warehouse, but they're very big. So
This
how
is a hard
big?
question.
Do you know how big the ISS is, Melissa?
I don't. And like I was telling you earlier, my sense of
Mm,
spatialness is not great. So I'm trying to think because when you see it in pictures, it looks so small, but I
right.
know that it looks like artificially small in pictures, right? Because it looks like how could people fit in there sometimes when you see it in pictures, right? So
And I know like 2-bedroom house, 6-bedroom house, that is not a, solid measurement, a specific measurement, but it's just to give you an idea. All right, Genevieve is thinking it's like an Amazon warehouse up there floating around in the sky. Kimberly thinks it's a living room. All right, let's see what Ashley's girls think. And if Alan chimed in. He's going with the 6-bedroom house. So is Ashley's 6-year-old. See, I made her older. I said she was 8 at the beginning. 6-year-old.
I think if I was gonna guess, I would guess B or C. I think it's
Okay.
bigger than a living room, but smaller than an Amazon warehouse.
All right, that's good thinking there. All right. It is the size of a house. Is the size of a 6-bedroom house. So you see one of the astronauts there is like storing that storage containers. And you can see there's a good bit of space around him to move around. It's not like he's real cramped in there. All right, last question. Which of the following things did they not do while they were on the ISS? Okay, so they did do 3 of these. Did they not run on a treadmill? Did they not vote? Did they not hold an Olympics competition? Or did they not play chess? Which of these things did they not do while they were up there? Which means they did do 3 of them. Do you have a guess on this one, Melissa? Or do you feel like you know this?
I don't know it,
Okay.
but 3 of these things are a lot less involved than the 4th one.
I will say that all of them have been done in space at one time.
I do believe that.
So if that makes a difference in your guessing. Okay, so Genevieve says they did not vote, and that's what Ashley's 6-year-old also says. They did not vote. We did have an election because they just got back and they were there 9 months. And then we've got 2 that said they did not. There's like something floating in my face. Did not hold an Olympics competition. They were up there during the Olympics. So I don't know. Let's see. What's Kimberly's family think? You all were following the news on this, so you might have some ideas that are actually based on knowledge. All right. They say they couldn't play chess because the pieces would be floating. Somehow somebody has played chess in space before. But
if they just Velcro it.
It was not that. Maybe Velcro, maybe magnets. I'm not sure. Chess has been played in space, but it was not this time. All right. So they did run on a treadmill. You can see Suni here on the treadmill. She's like, what's the word I want? Not tied down, but kind of anchored down while she's running. They had to work out 2 hours a day to keep up like their bone mass. Otherwise your bones literally start to like not, your bones are always kind of like growing. And so they would stop that and start to break down. So they exercised 2 hours a day, and they said it didn't bother their joints at all because there's no gravity. They did vote, which I want to know how that worked. It's not like they mailed up an absentee ballot. So did they, somehow they must have done an absentee ballot. And they did hold an Olympics competition. So you might be able to find more. I'm sure you can find more about that online. So there was some Olympics competition that went on during the Olympics. So there you go.
Even with all that exercising and stuff, I still saw when they like came out of the capsule, they put them in wheelchairs because it's just hard on your body to be in space for such a long time.
Right. But I think, unless I misread this, because I kind of skimmed it, that like a couple days after Suni was back, she ran like an 8-minute mile.
Wow.
I thought that's what it said. And I was
That's
like,
impressive.
wow.
I've never run an 8-minute mile.
No, I haven't either. No, probably. I mean, yeah, probably not. If I did, it was 1 mile, but I still don't think it was that low. All right. Anyways, come back next month, May 14th. So it's the second. Yes, it's the second Wednesday of the month. So it's like the latest you could have the second Wednesday in the month is May 14th. And that's when it is. We're going to do caves, wetlands, because Melissa said it's what? What is May?
American Wetland Month.
American Wetlands Month. And we will have another mystery current event. So thank you to everyone for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much.
And everybody have a good rest of your week.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
You have
I will end it. Goodbye, everyone.